And here we are with New Japan Pro Wrestling Shane Haste, former IWGP Tag Team Champion, member of TMDK, formerly known as Slapjack in the WWE, allegedly, depends who you ask, and one of my generational rivals. I know that sounds like a lot, and Shane's career has gone well above and beyond mine, and he's done incredible things I couldn't even imagine. But this kind of goes back a long time, and if I don't call much of the action, I do apologize, but this is probably the most sentimental role I've ever had. Shane and I were always kind of linked, and I was from Adelaide, he was Perth, but in 2004, I graduated high school, 17 years old. I traveled to Perth for 2 weeks because I had seen what EPW had done. I saw what they were doing, and I thought they were just doing a great thing, and I just wanted to experience their training, their wrestling, and brought myself over. Shane had also started around 2002, 2003 like me, and we were kind of just linked from that point onwards for a long time until he kind of started to go overseas. We were very much linked. We were the young guys up and coming. He had far more and still has far more ability than I could ever imagine. Just a natural talent, but also just the guy who works hard and just incredible. I can't say enough good things about Shane, and honestly think he's one of the most underrated wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. But I always looked up to him. I just thought he was an incredible talent, and we were booked together on that first trip. So I was there for 2 weeks, got booked against Shane, and they would start to bring me back, which was unheard of at the time and still unheard of now. But I wasn't very good. I lacked experience. I was green, but they would fly me over all the way from Adelaide to Perth for shows, which was just crazy to think. Even now, crazy to think. And often I would be paired against Shane, and we had many, many matches together. The first ever Wrestle Rampage show in Adelaide, which was my home, which became my home when we started it up in 2005. First ever show, Shane and I, we teamed up against Hartley Jackson, Davis Storm in the main event. And many, many years later, around 2017, I got brought into TMDK, which was the group that Shane started. So, this is the first time we had been against each other since probably the big day out in 2013. So that's another story for another time. But Shane and I actually wrestled on the Big Day Out tour of Australia, which was the biggest music festival we had. 60 plus world-class bands. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were headlining that year with Childish Gambino and the Killers, and we were wrestling every part of the tour under lucha masks, just me and Shane. And at the time I didn't know that would be the last time, but with the trajectory, say that one 3 times fast, with the trajectory of his career, just didn't get that opportunity, and I haven't seen him a whole lot since. So Shane was in town. He helped out at this camp that you see with all those fools in the background. And this was incredible. I will always look back on this, and it means a lot to me, and had a lot of fun. And as you can kind of tell, if you've been even paying any sort of attention to the action, this is probably the most different flow roll that I've ever had. We are, in my opinion, doing the equivalent to sloth jitsu or old man jiu-jitsu, where there's not a whole lot of movement. There's a lot of slow, nasty, gritty, grindy stuff that doesn't involve a whole lot of energy but feels terrible. And we're just basically pretzeling each other. These flow rolls, they're off the cuff. You can kind of see what happens. And I kind of just took Shane's lead, and he was doing nasty stuff to me, so I just threw it back at him, and it ended up becoming a pretty cool and unique flow roll. Little Brazilian tap from Shane there, but I won't judge. Pretty sure I follow up with a Brazilian tap of my own. If you don't know what that is, Google is your friend. Man, who needs a chiropractor when you got Shane Haste? Now with the Japanese stranglehold, knee in the back, extra leverage on the hold. Now turning out, a little bit of a receipt for Shane, and I was thinking about bridging there, but then I felt the knee in the back and over I went, and all bets were off with that one. Now, if I thought that was painful enough, knee in the back and a bit of elevation, and that was, that was an experience. Yeah, once upon a time, I thought I was flexible, but that was a long time ago, and now I can certainly confirm that I am not at all flexible. Brazilian tap. Anyone see that one? It is what it is, guys. You just keep on going. Until the ref pulls you apart, the match continues. Little cauliflower ear twist. Turning him over. Knee on belly to keep him pinned. Trying to attack the arms, but he's being very defensive. I'm using the stiff arm to try to pry it away. Underhook into a far side armbar. Definitely my favorite submission of all time. Both within and out of legitimate grappling. Going for the X break. Fun fact, that's how I won my last jiu-jitsu tournament. Well, I didn't win. I was screwed over at the end, but that's another story for another time. My second place ain't so bad. This is terrible. Calf slicer. I'm no calfzilla, man, but that sucked. And now just bending me back. It was pretty much at this point where I thought, if he keeps going, I'm actually going to tap for real. So I use that little chin strap there just to turn his head away. Loosens the hold, allows me to break into my old trainer Cole Devani's classic, the small package. Thus ends the flow roll. Thanks for watching.